Chapter 4178. Heavenly Fusion Sage and the rest took out their treasures and placed them in front of them, ready to trade. Wang Xian also took out 3 treasures that floated beside him. 3 treasures. One was called Moon's Mirror, another was called Empty Brightness, and the last was called Paper Man. Moon's Mirror, Empty Brightness, and Paper Man. These 3 treasures were all treasures that could allow one to escape quickly and avoid fatal attacks. Such treasures were only slightly less valuable than those that could allow one to revive without any injuries. They were much more valuable than ordinary treasures that could allow one to revive. Moon's Mirror. It can create a figure that looks exactly like me on the spot with its own defensive capabilities. The real body will be in an illusory state and can escape quickly. Empty Brightness. It can turn into a state of emptiness in an instant. It can ignore any attacks and double the speed. Paper Man. It can release thousands of paper men to escape in all directions. Each paper man can be your real body. Wang Xian introduced the 3 treasures in front of him. As soon as he finished speaking, the group of Creation Realm Divine Essence experts all looked over at him. Seems like the Dragon King has gained a lot of treasures this time. Heavenly Fusion Sage exclaimed. Lucky. Wang Xian smiled. Indeed, he was lucky. In the Six Paths universe, his strength was not suppressed because he was born from the same root. When the other Creation Realm experts who were suppressed by heavenly origin forces weren't paying attention and were ambushed by Wang Xian, they couldn't use these treasures at all. These treasures would also belong to Wang Xian. The 3 treasures in the Dragon King's hands are a little valuable. I have one with me. One by one, the Creation Realm experts took out their treasures. The Skeleton Tribe, Celestial Kingdom, and Divine Tiger Tribe also took out some treasures and introduced them. I have a treasure here that I would like to exchange for the Empty Brightness treasure in your hands. The 12 ancestors of sorcery took out a treasure and wanted to trade with Wang Xian. This was a treasure that could detect all kinds of energy in one's surroundings. It had a wide range of detection abilities. It also had a great ability to detect other experts. The 12 ancestors of sorcery helped Wang Xian conceal himself. Wang Xian realized that even if he concealed himself, he could still be detected. In addition, Tianxi, who had the Heaven Origin Fortune Supreme Treasure, had the concealment method of the Heaven Origin Fortune Supreme Treasure, so he could still be found from tens of thousands of meters away. One had to know that it was impossible to discover the condition of Tianxi's body without getting close to him. When Wang Xian saw this effect, he immediately made a trade with him. A scouting-type treasure was extremely useful. As for the other 2 treasures, Wang Xian had exchanged some fragments of the God of Elements and a treasure from the universe of science and technology. This treasure of the technological universe was a blueprint, the blueprint of the universe destroyer ship. According to the blueprints and some scientific knowledge, a powerful universe destroyer spaceship could be built. The destruction ship had the power to kill a universe ruler realm expert. There were many different kinds of universes. Naturally, there were universes that focused on science and technology. And in a science and technology universe, powerful battleships could destroy the fortune of heaven. Incomparably powerful. This was the blueprint of the universe destruction ship, stored in an AI. It contained all the knowledge regarding the construction of the universe destruction ship. Wang Xian hesitated for a moment before making the trade. Let Lin Wenluo, the Firehammer clan, and Wu Sha do the research. Currently, the Firehammer clan was the auxiliary clan of the Dragon Palace. Their combat power was relatively weaker, but they had great talent in forging and scientific research. They, Lin Wenluo, Wu Sha, and the rest had researched many treasures. Sometimes, Heavenly Formation and a group of sorcerers would also participate in their research. Sorcerers were also considered a different kind of scientist, specializing in magic. The technological universe was a very powerful universe. Battleships could destroy sages, analyze all kinds of energy, and their strength was extraordinary. Soon, the trade meeting ended. The group of Creation Realm experts were also very satisfied. The Skeleton Clan had also obtained some good treasures. It's time to break through. Wang Xian returned to the Dragon Palace and looked at the resources in his hands with a smile. The transaction this time had allowed his strength to be enhanced. He called Prime Minister Turtle over and handed the other 5 corpses to him for the disciples of the Dragon Palace to absorb and improve quickly. Soon he began to devour the resources. Days passed, and the energy in Wang Xian's body increased rapidly. As the dragon energy increased, his strength increased bit by bit. 9-colored light filled the entire Dragon King Hall. Vaguely, divine dragons could be seen flying above the dragon scales. Wang Xian's humongous body was filled with boundless majesty. Buzz! Ding! Congratulations on breaking through to the 8th Order Universe Sovereign Realm. Ding! Congratulations to host for breaking through. The 9-origin dragon domain has been strengthened. Name: Wang Xian. Race: 9 origins divine dragon, 1 with the dragon. Rank: 8th Order Universe Ruler. 9 transformations return to 1, origin, 1%, 99% required for next breakthrough, magic. Dominate the aquatic creatures. Dominate any aquatic creatures lower than your own level. Devour living things. Devour living things to extract the source. Control of the 5 elements cultivation technique. Divine dragon transformation divine powers. Soul capture, spirit attachment nomological divine abilities. Dragon Eye Lock, 5 elements dragon claw. Yin-Yang World Breaker, 8 luminaries dragon scale, holy dragon shadow, 8 divisions of the heavenly dragon, dragon tomb, soaring cloud dragon, true dragon body law of dharma form, 8 directional dragon pillar, 8 dragon clone, towering dragon horn, great mighty heavenly dragon, godly tail playing with pearls, dragon breath of life, shadow dragon clone, netherworld dragon pursuit, netherworld dragon conversion, thunderstorm dragon life. Berserk Dragon Starburst. Domain: 9 origin dragon domain law of mastery, metal, wood, water, fire, earth, light, darkness, wind, lightning divine kingdom. Dragon Palace possess Dragon Palace. Inborn Dragon Palace members, 8060450 Rumble. As the notification of the system sounded, an even more majestic aura surged from Wang Xian's body towards the surroundings. Wang Xian opened his eyes slowly. A pair of pupils, 1 yin and 1 yang. The dragon horns on his head were similarly yin and yang. It was extremely bizarre. However, it was incomparably sacred. Wang Xian looked at his own attributes in his mind and revealed a faint smile. He sensed his own strength. It was much stronger than before. Heavenly Yuan Fate Transformation, Control Level. Wang Xian's strength was considered very strong among the various universes. Even if he used all his trump cards, those at the Great Tao level might not be able to kill him. Wang Xian moved and transformed into his human form. The Tai Chi Dragon Plate and the 5 elements grind flew out. The Tai Chi Dragon Plate turned into a black dragon cannon. The 5 elements grind turned into a dragon crown. The unbeginning sacred wings on his back turned into a tempest and thunder divine dragon windbreaker. Wang Xian nodded his head in satisfaction as he sensed his new look. Handsome and cool. Very majestic. Let's make a trip to the sword and sorcery universe. I'll give the 3 corpses with space attributes to my void divine dragon body so that it can reach the heavenly Yuan Fate Transformation realm as soon as possible. Wang Xian pondered to himself. Chapter 4179. 1. When Wang Xian arrived at the universe of swords and sorcery, he entered the body of the Void Divine Dragon. 9th Order Universe Lord Realm. Not bad to have reached this realm after such a long time. Wang Xian sensed the strength of the Void Divine Dragon and revealed a satisfied look. 9th Order Universe Lord Realm. He was very close to the pinnacle. With the 3 Creation Realm experts' corpses, it shouldn't be a problem for him to break through. At this moment, Wang Xian was in the flowing water forbidden zone. He was cultivating in seclusion in a room. Wang Xian opened his eyes and scanned the surroundings with his spiritual consciousness. Dragon King, you're here? Soon, Lulan appeared. She looked at Wang Xian and asked with a smile. Yeah, I'm here to take a look. I also want to thank you for your help previously. Wang Xian smiled at Lulan. He was referring to the Queen of Fu Shui. It's nothing. Lu Lan smiled and looked at Wang Xian with flickering eyes. Dragon King, you've gotten stronger again. I can't see through you this time. I'm lucky to have obtained some opportunities. Wang Xian smiled. Oh yes, Dragon King, there's something I'm not sure if I should say. It's about our universe of swords and sorcery. Lu Lan looked at Wang Xian and suddenly spoke. Seeing her expression, Wang Xian raised his eyebrows slightly and gestured for her to continue. Not long ago, I sensed a huge eye spying on our universe of swords and sorcery at the edge of our universe of swords and sorcery. That huge eye gave me a palpitating feeling, so I didn't rush over to check it out. I communicated with Senior Wang Tian, and he also sensed it. He said that someone is spying on our universe with ulterior motives. However, the owner of that eye is stronger than us. I wonder if it's an expert from the crazy devil universe where Aya Sky Demon God is. Lu Lan said. Wang Xian was slightly surprised by her words. A huge eye spying on the universe of swords and sorcery? Wang Xian squinted his eyes. As Lu Lan spoke, her brows were tightly furrowed, and her face was filled with worry. I've discussed this matter with Senior Wang Tian for a long time, but in the entire sword and magic universe, only the two of us can discuss it. However, our strength is only at the early stage of divine origin. Our sword and sorcery universe has always been plagued with disasters. Every time the cataclysm comes, it becomes a slaughterhouse. This time, because you are here, I can tell you about it. We suspect that the powerhouses of other universes have begun plotting against our sword and magic universe. Sai, our sword and magic universe has 10 attributes. Generally speaking, it can produce 10 heaven origin creation powerhouses. However, up until now, there have only been 2. No, I don't know about the first 2. In fact, our sword and magic cosmos has already produced 5 heaven origin creation realm experts. The other 3 are experts from other cosmos. They used our sword and magic cosmos quota to become heaven origin creation realm experts. Even so, our sword and magic universe still has 5 quotas. This has caused the other universes to covet our universe's quotas and resources. The cataclysm is coming. I wonder if you could lend us a hand, Dragon King. As she spoke, she looked at Wang Xian. The quota for the space attribute has not been occupied, right? Upon hearing her words, Wang Xian frowned slightly and asked. Lu Lan shook her head. If the Dragon King wishes for your doppelganger to achieve a breakthrough, we have no objections. Before the cataclysm, I will make my void divine dragon body break through to the heaven origin creation realm. At that time, if there are no accidents on my side, my body will be with you. In addition, if there are no wars in the 9-source universe, I can come over and even bring people over. Wang Xian said. Thank you, Dragon King. Lu Lan was slightly shocked when she heard this. She looked at Wang Xian and asked, Dragon King, are you confident that you can make your doppelganger break through to the heaven origin creation realm? Yes, I have obtained many treasures from other universes. I'm confident that I can make my void divine dragon body break through to the heaven origin creation realm. Wang Xian nodded and said confidently. Among the 3 corpses, one was the corpse of a control-level expert. The heaven origin creation realm was extremely difficult to break through. However, Wang Xian had 3 corpses of heaven origin creation realm experts. If he were to comprehend it with his heart, the success rate would be above 70%. Moreover, Wang Xian believed that his comprehension ability was still very strong. Dragon King, you're really amazing. Lu Lan opened her mouth and her face was filled with amazement. Making his doppelganger break through to the heaven origin creation realm was a little terrifying. How many sword and sorcery universe have slots for heaven origin creation realm experts? Wang Xian asked Lu Lan. Dragon King, there are still wood element, wind element, thunder element, space element, and light element. The remaining slots have all been taken. Lu Lan answered. Wang Xian nodded. If the experts of the Dragon Palace had the chance, they could make a breakthrough in the sword and sorcery universe. As for Lu Lan and Wu Tian, they might not be interested. Strength reigns supreme. To them, The best outcome would be for their universe to not be targeted by other experts after the cataclysm. Now that the sword and sorcery universe had 5 slots, it would be a great danger for them. Moreover, even if they did not agree, how could they resist? I'll go to the chaos space around your universe to take a look when I have the time. I'll see which experts from other universes are targeting you. Wang Xian hesitated for a moment before continuing. If the sword and sorcery universe was really attacked during the cataclysm, Wang Xian would lend a helping hand. Not only for Long Yining and the rest, but also for the future. Wang Xian also wanted to get more slots for the creation realm experts of Sky Origin Realm. The Dragon Palace Divine Dragons had 9 attributes. If the Dragon Palace had more Heaven Origin Creation Realm experts, it would be the true rise of the Dragon Palace. In addition, he would go to the chaos space to take a look. If it was an expert who had just entered the sword and sorcery universe, Wang Xian did not mind killing him. The corpse of a Heaven Origin Creation Realm expert was too valuable. The 4 corpses that Wang Xian left for the disciples of the Dragon Palace was enough to increase the number of Peak Universe Lord Realm experts to the Dragon Palace. To the Dragon Palace, this was a huge boost. Let's take a look around. Given my current strength, I'm not afraid of encountering strong enemies who can crush me in the chaos space. Moreover, I have many treasures to escape with. Wang Xian pondered and decided to take a look. Chapter 4180. It seems like the Dragon King's strength has improved tremendously. He entered the chaos without any scruples. The current Dragon King is giving me a huge threat. I really don't understand how the Dragon King managed to cultivate and make breakthroughs so quickly. We're still too weak. It's good for us to have the help of an expert like the Dragon King. At the periphery of the sword and sorcery universe, Lu Lan and Wu Wangtian were shocked as they watched Wang Xian enter the chaos. At the same time, they felt helpless. As their own universe, they couldn't do anything about the covetous people outside. The cataclysm was coming, but they couldn't do anything about it. Wang Xian didn't know what Lu Lan and Wu Wangtian were thinking. Even if he knew, he wouldn't care. After entering the chaos, Wang Xian scanned his surroundings and flew in a direction. According to Lu Lan and Wu Wangtian, they sensed that someone was spying on them somewhere else. Wang Xian entered the chaos from another direction and flew in the direction they mentioned. The universe was huge. Wang Xian flew along the periphery at high speed. He scanned his surroundings and tried to sense the situation. At the same time, he took out the scouting treasure he had traded with the 12 ancestors of sorcery and looked at the situation above. There was no sun or moon in the chaos. After flying for a few years, Wang Xian suddenly stopped and looked at the scouting treasure in his hand. It was a scouting treasure, and it appeared to be gray in the midst of chaos. But at this time, another energy spot appeared at the periphery. It was a white energy spot. The white color was strange and wasn't the white light of the light attribute. Is it a special attribute? There's only one. The energy shows that it's a control-level existence. Wang Xian looked at the information and murmured. A control-level expert indeed had the strength to covet the sword and sorcery universe. Wang Xian concealed himself and crept forward bit by bit. After flying for more than 10 minutes, he looked ahead and was surprised. There was a huge white altar in front of him. The white building was placed in a special position and clearly looked like an altar. The energy on it resisted the primal chaos force's erosion. The entire area of the altar was huge, comparable to a majestic city. When Wang Xian arrived, a humongous eye suddenly appeared above the white building. His eyes looked towards Wang Xian. Below the incomparably huge pupil, there was an illusory figure. The figure stared coldly at Wang Xian. Seeing that he had been discovered, Wang Xian raised his eyebrows slightly. However, he floated there without moving. Faith power. Is it the power of faith in the universe? Wang Xian thought to himself as he sensed the energy. Fellow Taoist sage, what are you spying on me for? The illusory figure stared at Wang Xian and asked plainly. Are you plotting against the sword and magic universe? Wang Xian stared at him and asked in return. Are you also eyeing the sword and magic universe? The illusory figure asked in return. I'll walk around. Wang Xian answered him. That's for the best. We'll mind our own business. The illusory figure said calmly. Wang Xian nodded his head. With a swift move, he left. Flying into the distance, Wang Xian could sense that a huge eye was looking at him. He had a feeling that he was being watched. After flying for a day, the feeling of being watched finally disappeared. The power of the faith universe to spy on me is really impressive. Wang Xian mumbled to himself. The range of this spying was extremely wide. No wonder it could peer into the sword and magic universe. That expert from the faith universe is at the control level. I wonder if he's the only one or there are more. It seems like the faith universe has its eyes on the sword and magic universe. As Wang Xian spoke, he did not continue exploring and flew towards the sword and magic universe. Based on what Lu Lan and the rest said, they only felt that they were being watched in this direction. Therefore, Wang Xian did not go anywhere else. The universe was so vast that it would take at least tens of thousands of years to fly around it and check everything out. Wang Xian did not have that much time. After entering the sword and magic universe, Wang Xian sent a message to Lu Lan and Wang Tian. Soon, Lu Lan and Wang Tian came up to him. Dragon King, did you find anything? The two of them asked Wang Xian with hope written all over their faces. Yeah, there's a Sky Yuan creation realm expert at the control level of the faith universe who is plotting against the sword and magic universe. Wang Xian nodded his head and said, a Sky Yuan creation realm expert at the control level of the faith universe? Wang Tian's expression changed slightly. He looked at Wang Xian and asked, Dragon King, how many experts do they have? I don't know the exact number. I only saw one. Wang Xian shook his head and continued, do you guys know the strength of the faith universe? I know a little about it. The faith universe is a very powerful universe. During the last cataclysm, they conquered a universe. Although they don't massacre people in the universe, they can change the minds of people and make them believe in them. That's right. Wang Tian nodded his head and said with a bitter expression. Yeah, the faith universe is not weak. Not long ago, our nine-source universe fought with them in the starry universe. Of course, it was just a fight between ordinary disciples. When the cataclysm comes, if there are no special circumstances in our nine-source universe, I'll come over. Wang Xian said to them, Dragon King, your nine-source universe is so strong. Nothing should happen, right? Lu Lan opened her mouth and could not help but ask. I can't be sure. Wang Xian shook his head and continued, however, I can guarantee that my void divine dragon body will be in your universe. If we work together, a control-level expert will be able to expel it. Wang Tian and Lu Lan nodded their heads. They were also very helpless and did not have any good ideas. Now that time was so short, they could only pin their hopes on Wang Xian. Wang Xian did not stay in the sword and magic universe for long, after which he returned to the Tree of Chaos. Next, we have to make preparations for the cataclysm. Wang Xian sat on the dragon throne and mumbled to himself. The weak universe had already been surrounded by the powerful Sky Yuan creation realm experts and had begun to plot against it. His cold eyes were fixed on the flesh and resources inside. Wang Xian had to continue to grow stronger, and so did the Dragon Palace. Apart from that, before the cataclysm, Wang Xian had another matter to settle. The matter of the Phoenix clan. He had to settle it before the cataclysm. Chapter 4181. To disturb the outside world, one must first pacify the inside. The feud between the Phoenix clan and the Dragon Palace must be resolved. Wang Xian closed his eyes. Currently, the only way to improve his strength was with the Void Divine Dragon Body. Currently, Wang Xian was comprehending the power of space with the Void Divine Dragon Body. This could speed up the improvement of his doppelganger realm. As Wang Xian had brought a lot of resources this time, the disciples of the Dragon Palace had improved at a much faster rate, especially in terms of high-end combat power. With the corpses of the 4 creation realm experts, the number of top-notch experts in the Dragon Palace increased. In addition, the 2 elemental gods had already turned into a grotto heaven. The 12 ancestors of sorcery and the rest had made arrangements for this. This also gave the Dragon Palace a top-notch training ground. The grotto heaven where the elemental gods were born was the best. As the days passed, the number of experts in the Dragon Palace increased. 100 million years later, Wang Xian's void divine dragon body had reached the pinnacle of the universe lord realm and was officially moving towards the creation realm. Time passed quickly. 200 million years passed quickly. Tianzi, how much longer do you need to break through? On this day, in the Dragon King Hall of the Dragon Palace, a group of people were eating delicacies at a big table. Shu Qing and the girls were Hua Hai, Xiao Yu, and Feng Lingtian. There was also Tianzi and his mother, Muri Ying. This was a family banquet. This was a family banquet that they would have once in a million years. This was also a decision made by Guan Shuqing and the girls. They couldn't cultivate for too long. Family members had to gather frequently. Wang Xian naturally had no objections and asked Tianzi. As Wang Xian's adopted son, Guan Shuqing and the girls quickly accepted the fact that they had a new adopted son. Godfather, I'll need at most tens of millions of years to break through. By then, the tree of God in my body will also reach maturity. Tianzi said, my cultivation speed is very fast at the tree of chaos. The tree of God in my body is also growing very fast. If you want to break through, you have to return to the Six Paths universe. There are no more places in the Nine-Source universe. Wang Xian nodded and looked at Lan Qingyue. Qingyue, do you think Xiao Lan and the rest have a chance to break through? Xiao Lan and the rest were still in the Star Universe. Currently, with the nurturing of the Dragon Palace's resources, he had already reached the peak of the Universe Ruler realm. It's very difficult. There are no more spots in the Starry Sky universe. If Xiao Lan and the others want to break through, they have to enter other universes with special bloodline energy. However, there aren't many such universes. As Lan Qingyue spoke, she smiled and continued, but it doesn't matter. Xiao Xian is in the Dragon Palace now. It doesn't matter whether we break through or not. Upon hearing this, Wang Xian smiled and shook his head. Only divine origin creation realm experts could live forever. Otherwise, his lifespan would eventually run out. Wang Xian would think of a way to elevate all of them to the creation realm of heavenly origin. Brother, is the progenitor tree about to mature? Xiao Yu asked Wang Xian from the side. Yes, soon. I estimate that it will mature in a few 100 million years. Wang Xian nodded his head. When the progenitor tree reached its mature stage, Wang Xian's strength would increase further. Oh yes, when little Tianci breaks through, let's go to the Six Paths universe to have some fun. We haven't been traveling for a long time and we're sick of the Nine-Source universe. Let's go to the Six Paths universe. When little Tianci breaks through, we can also give him some pointers. After all, he will have to spend most of his time in the Six Paths universe. We can't let others bully him. Guan Shuqing suddenly said. That's a good idea. We haven't been to other places for a long time. The Six Paths universe is a universe that we have never been to. It's a brand new world. It will definitely be fun and delicious. The girls chimed in. All of them were looking forward to it. That's a good idea. The 6 treasured lands in the Six Paths universe are very unique. The food and scenery are also different from the Nine-Source universe. Muri Ying smiled and said to them, I can bring my sisters around when the time comes. During this period, Muri Ying and Guan Shuqing had become familiar with each other. Although their relationship wasn't deep, it was still very good. As Muri Ying was Tianxi's mother, the Dragon Palace provided her with many resources for her cultivation, including some Heart of Faith. This allowed Muri Ying's strength to reach the 6th Order Universe Sovereign Realm. Her improvement could be said to be terrifying. The Dragon Palace had Wang Xian and Qilin Bull. In addition to the Heaven Origin Creation Treasure in Tianxi's body, the Dragon Palace had 2 complete Heaven Origin Creation Treasures. Coupled with the large number of treasures, it would be very easy to groom a person. Alright, let's have a good look around and let Tianci have a firm foothold in the Six Paths universe. Wang Xian smiled and nodded in agreement. The strength of the Six Paths universe wasn't weak, especially the dead spirit. He could summon 3 terrifying heaven origin creation treasures. His strength was equivalent to Wang Xian when he didn't use the 5 elements grindstone and Tai Chi dragon coil. Of course, the progenitor tree's recovery energy still had to be used. If Tian Ci stepped into the heaven origin creation realm, with the help of the heaven origin creation treasure, his strength would be similar to the dead spirit. As for the 6 Paths Universe's Golden Leopard and Tu Sha City, they were just beginners. After the discussion, they chatted for a while before continuing with their cultivation and fun. As for Tian Ci, he continued with his cultivation. Time passed day by day. Thousands of years passed in the blink of an eye. Godfather, I can break through now. Tian Ci flew towards Wang Xian from the Tree of Chaos with excitement written all over his face. After cultivating here for over 200 million years, he felt that he could step into the legendary realm at any time. Although his godfather had been telling him that he could easily step into the heaven origin creation realm. At this moment, he was still very excited. Can I break through now? Wang Xian opened his eyes and looked at the excited Tianxi. He flew over and patted his shoulder. In that case, let's return to the 6 Paths Universe and prepare for the breakthrough. Wang Xian said to him. Tianxi's breakthrough was very easy. This didn't mean that he could easily break through to the heaven origin creation realm after obtaining the heaven origin creation treasure. This was because the heaven origin creation treasure and Tian Ci were one. They were born as one. This was also why Wang Xian was a little envious of him back then. He was born extraordinary and could reach the heaven origin creation realm even if he didn't cultivate. As for other experts, if they wanted to obtain the heaven origin creation treasure, they would have to break through the shackles themselves. Tian Ci couldn't be compared to him at all. With Tian Ci's breakthrough, Wang Xian would have one more expert in the future. Chapter 4182. Tianxi, have you chosen the location for your breakthrough? In front of the Tree of Chaos, Wang Xian stood before Tianxi and asked with a smile. Behind and around Wang Xian were a group of experts from Dragon Palace. 13 divine dragons, roving heavens, roving qi, roving jian, and the rest. Around them were Tianxi's mother, Muri Yin, and his grandfather, Gong Cheng Miaomi. Since Tian Ci was about to break through, he naturally had to return to the 6 Paths Universe. To Tianxi, breaking through to the creation of Sky Origin stage was very important. Where to break through was also a choice. Teacher, my water source is in our Muley tribe. Tianxi smiled shyly as he spoke to Wang Xian. Forget about the Muley tribe. Your breakthrough will cause a great change in the energy of heaven and earth, and there will be some conflicts with the water source. Let's do it above the grassland. Wang Xian thought for a while and said, All right then, I'll listen to you, foster father. Tianxi nodded. He had no objections. Dragon King, the last time I set up a Devil's Soul altar in the underground city, I teleported to the underground city. Enlai replied to Wang Xian. Wang Xian nodded. Let's go. It's Dragon King. Enlai's gaze swept across everyone. With a wave of his arm, a wave of energy enveloped them. Buzz. In the next instant, they appeared in the 6 Paths Universe Earth City. Wang Xian sensed the suppression from the 6 Paths Universe and his psyche moved. The same root was connected to Tianxi's body and the disciples of Dragon Palace. The suppression from the 6 Paths Universe disappeared instantly. When the suppression disappeared, the 13 divine dragons of the Dragon Palace soared into the sky. The dragon roared between heaven and earth. At the same time, the aura of a peak universe ruler surged out. This time, all the peak universe ruler realm experts of the Dragon Palace had arrived. A total of 18. With the corpses of the creation realm experts, the disciples of Dragon Palace improved very quickly. In the past 200 million years, another dozen or so peak sovereign realm experts had appeared. Their arrival this time was to give the future heavenly bestowal a stance. The other was the breakthrough of a creation realm expert of the heavenly essence realm. It was also for the disciples of the Dragon Palace to comprehend. Next, their biggest hurdle was the creation of heavenly essence. Let's go! 13 divine dragons roared and floated in the sky. A dragon throne appeared at the back. It was a huge dragon throne, and Wang Xian was sitting on it. At the side, there was a small dragon chair for Tianxi to sit on. Behind them, roving heavens and the rest were enveloping Muri-in and the rest with their energy. As a divine dragon at the pinnacle of the Dragon Palace Dominator realm, their status was still very high. Experts of this level were the strongest apart from those at the creation stage of divine origin. Tianxi was about to break through to the Fortune Heaven realm, and he was also the crown prince of the Dragon Palace. Naturally, the group of sovereign realm divine dragons were willing to accept him. As for the others, they would not allow them to sit on the dragon throne. In the Dragon Palace, strength was king. Only the Dragon Queen and the future Dragon Crown Prince and Princess were qualified to be led by them. This was also the rule of the Dragon Palace. The 13 divine dragons roared as they pulled Wang Xian and the rest towards a direction at high speed. In the underground city, the sudden roar of the divine dragon and the sudden terrifying might shocked all the experts and disciples in the underground city. This was especially true for the experts of the Xian Earth tribe. When they sensed this power, they immediately floated in the air, their faces filled with shock. What's that? Divine dragon. It's a divine dragon from the Dragon Palace of the Nine Origins universe. This power is all at the pinnacle of the sovereign realm. It's a divine dragon, and it looks similar to the Dragon King. Look at the back of the divine dragon, it's pulling a throne. That's the Dragon King and Muri Tianxi. What a terrifying aura. These 13 divine dragons are too terrifying. Not only are there 13 divine dragons, but there are also 5 pinnacle of the sovereign realm. Are these the subordinates of the Dragon King of the Nine Origins universe? Why is the Dragon King and the rest here all of a sudden? And why is Muri Tianxi back from the Nine Origins universe? What's going on? Report to our Lord Creation immediately. The experts of the Xian Earth tribe discussed in shock. They stared at the incomparably huge and majestic divine dragon in the sky with shock and fear. Especially the dragon throne behind the divine dragon. Using pinnacle of the sovereign realm to pull a throne, this power was unprecedented. And there was someone from the Six Paths universe sitting behind it. These dozen pinnacle of the sovereign realm existences were even more than the experts of the Xian Earth tribe. Somewhere in the Xian Earth tribe, Tu Shacheng opened his eyes with a look of surprise. His body moved and instantly floated above the underground city. This was one of his doppelgangers. When Tu Shacheng's doppelganger saw Wang Xian and the rest in the sky, his eyes flickered and his eyes were filled with fear. Welcome, Dragon King. Tianxi is back too? Tu Shacheng approached Wang Xian and greeted, Dragon King, where are you guys heading to this time? Tianxi is heading to the grassland for a breakthrough. I'll accompany him. Brother Tu, you can go and take a look if you're interested. Wang Xian smiled faintly at Tu Shacheng and said, following which, he looked at the group of divine dragons. Roar! The divine dragons roared and pulled the dragon throne towards the grassland. They broke through so quickly? Tu Shacheng was shocked as he watched Wang Xian and the rest leave. Congratulations to our Six Paths Universe's nephew, Mu Li Tianxi, for advancing to the heavenly origin creation realm in the grassland. Congratulations to our Six Paths Universe for having a new heavenly origin creation saint. Congratulations to the adopted son of the Dragon Palace of the Nine Essences universe, Mu Li Tianxi, for advancing to the heavenly origin creation realm. Tu Shacheng spoke. His voice condensed from boundless energy spread across the entire city and towards the other parts of the grassland. Lord Mu Li Tianxi is about to break through. This is so fast. This is too fast. Wow. Our Six Paths universe is about to have another heavenly origin creation realm expert. Mu Li Tianxi is about to break through in the grassland. Hurry, let's go and have a look. A heavenly origin creation realm expert is about to advance. That's really heaven-defying. Mu Li Tianxi was born as a creation saint. The Dragon King of the Dragon Palace protected and nurtured him. Now, in just over 300 million years, he has become a heavenly origin creation realm expert. This is too terrifying. Gosh, he has a heavenly origin creation realm expert, the incomparably powerful Dragon King of the Dragon Palace as his father. If I had a father like him, I might even be able to reach the heavenly origin creation realm. Back then, the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace was simply too heaven-defying. He slaughtered the other heavenly origin creation realm experts indiscriminately. The entire city was in an uproar. Countless experts and disciples were discussing, each and every one of them was extremely excited. The Six Paths universe had one more majestic existence. And Mu Li Tianxi would also become a legend in the Six Paths universe. The luckiest one. Chapter 4183. Tianxi is about to make a breakthrough. Hurry, let's rush to the grassland. Tianxi is back. Under the leadership of the Dragon King, he is going to the grassland to make a breakthrough. It's only been 200 million years and Tianxi is about to make a breakthrough. Our Muley tribe is about to rise. Heavenly origin fate realm. I didn't expect that our Muley tribe would also have a heavenly origin fate realm expert. Our ancestors have shown their spirit. Before the cultivation calamity, our Muley tribe has given birth to such an expert. Moreover, we have the backing of the Dragon King of Dragon Palace. We are not afraid of the cultivation calamity at all. Quick, everyone, go to the grassland. Mu Li Tianxi is about to break through. After Tianxi returned to the Six Paths universe, Tianxi's grandpa and the others sent the news to the Mu Li tribe. The Jioha tribe also received the news. This made the Muley tribe and the Jioha tribe seethe with excitement. With the birth of a heaven origin creator, the Muley tribe would soon become one of the top 3 tribes in the Six Paths universe. The amount of resources that they could occupy would also increase. Especially when the cataclysm was coming, having a heaven origin serendipity realm cultivator to protect them and not to protect them were two completely different concepts. The news of Dragon Palace's Dragon King leading Mu Li Tianxi to the grassland for a breakthrough spread across the entire Six Paths universe at a terrifying speed. After the undead and golden leopard received the news, they immediately rushed to the prairie. Countless experts and disciples rushed towards the grassland at high speed. Worship and observe. Half a year later, 13 gigantic divine dragons stepped into the sky above the grassland. Below, all the experts and disciples were shocked when they saw the huge divine dragon flying past and pulling the sacred dragon throne. Everyone knew that the Dragon King and Mu Li Tianxi were here. The leaders of the tribes in the grassland welcome Your Majesty Dragon King and His Excellency Muri Tianxi. Welcome His Excellency Muri Tianxi to the grassland for a breakthrough. We, the panicked grass army, are in the sky above the grassland. We are ready for you. Under the command of the undead, we are here to welcome you. As soon as they arrived in the sky above the prairie, the leaders of the tribes came to greet them in person and saluted them loudly. Lead the way. Tianxi looked at them and nodded. In the past 6 months, Wang Xian had also taught him some knowledge about the art of emperors. As a fortune creator of heaven origin, as long as he had his own clan or tribe, he would have to know some controlling techniques. As a powerhouse, he had to have the bearing of a powerhouse. Because of the existence of the cataclysm, a universe's strongest must know how to use tactics and how to give orders. Wang Xian had given him a lot of these items over the past 6 months. Tianxi was still young, unlike Wang Xian who had fought his way through. His path was relatively simple, so there were some things that needed to be taught. For example, how he would treat the tribes of the Six Paths universe, and how he would treat the other 3 heaven origin creation realm experts. He could respect them as a junior. However, he also needed to gain the other party's respect. Otherwise, there would be no need to respect the other party at all. Wang Xian was very respectful towards the experts of the 9 origins universe. Most of the time, he would address them as seniors. He was indeed a junior, so he had to be humble. But at the same time, I respect you, and you should treat me with courtesy. This was the foundation. For the following matters, Tianxi would handle them on his own. Wang Xian would only watch from the side. Next, Prime Minister Turtle would also send a few members of the Dragon Palace to help him sort out some problems. A think tank was still very important. Even though Tianxi had become a heaven origin creation realm expert, Wang Xian, as his old father, was not completely at ease. "It's Lord Mu Li Tianxi." The leaders of the tribes looked at Mu Li Tianxi and were slightly shocked before they answered respectfully. Tianxi sat on the dragon throne with the shadow of a divine tree behind him. It exuded a sharp aura. On his head, he wore a crown with a special pattern of a plant, a tree, and a divine dragon. It added a lot of dignity to his young face. He wore a dragon robe with the wood divine dragon, which made him look noble. The divine dragons pulled him and sat on the dragon throne. He had a complete heaven origin creation realm treasure. Even though he had not broken through, his strength was no weaker than a heaven origin creation realm expert who had just entered. His dignity was starting to show. The 13 divine dragons pulled the dragon throne and continued flying forward. Soon they came to the sky above a forest. Below them, countless experts and disciples were already waiting. The undead Sand City and Golden Leopard were sitting on the thrones in the void. "Godfather." Looking at the void in front of him that had been specially cleared, Tianxi stood up slowly and looked at Wang Xian. "Go on." Wang Xian nodded at him and stood up slowly. "Yes, Godfather." Tianxi did not talk to the rest, not to the 3 experts. He moved and flew straight up into the sky. Behind him, there was a divine tree that was not very thick. It was slightly slender and had some sharp thorns on it. It was filled with a sharp aura and appeared directly behind him. The divine tree exuded a suffocating aura. An aura that was no weaker than a creation realm expert who had just entered the divine origin realm charged downwards. "Huh! He's about to break through? He has an aura that is no weaker than mine even before breaking through? If he breaks through, won't he be?" The undead Sand City and the rest saw the 13 divine dragons and Tianxi flying into the sky to break through. They were shocked when they felt the aura. Golden Leopard couldn't help but ask in a low voice. According to the rumors in the universe, if a heaven origin creation realm expert who has just broken through has an offensive heaven origin creation realm treasure, he can go against a control-level existence. In other words, he can easily take on 3 opponents at the same time. The undead spirit said with flickering eyes. He reached the heaven origin creation realm after cultivating for more than 300 million years. He's so much stronger than me when he just broke through. I'm so envious. Sand City couldn't help but comment. Tianxi's luck is indeed heaven-defying. Not only was he born extraordinary, but he also met a godfather who doesn't care about treasures. I can't compare. The undead spirit shook his head and looked up into the sky. At this moment, all the experts and disciples had their eyes on Tianxi. The roots of the divine tree behind Tianxi seemed to have taken root in the void. The branches and leaves above shrouded Tianxi completely. Tianxi stood on it, and countless wood-based energy currents surged into his body from all around him. In the sky, the shadow of the divine tree appeared and swayed its branches. Plants and flowers bloomed. Tianxi stood there and opened his arms slowly. The divine tree behind him also began swaying its branches. At this moment, the starry sky seemed to have dimmed, leaving only the most dazzling divine tree and Tianxi. Rumble! Rumble! The heavens and earth roared in celebration. Chapter 4184, Rumble! Rumble! In the Six Paths universe, the booming sound reverberated throughout the sky above the grassland. A powerful ancient god tree's root took root in the void, revealing a powerful sharpness. It swayed its branches. Tianxi stood under the ancient god tree, his body stepping on its branches. In the surroundings, boundless wood elemental energy was gathering towards this place. The energy in Tianxi's body was increasing rapidly. At the same time, the ancient god tree behind him was also growing rapidly. This ancient god tree had to make use of the power of the universe and the energy absorbed by Tianxi's breakthrough to reach maturity. The majestic ancient god tree stood between heaven and earth as though it had existed since ancient times. The projection turned into a tangible object. Below, all the experts and disciples felt the pressure and their faces were filled with awe and respect. Some wood-based cultivators even knelt on the ground, closed their eyes, and absorbed the wood-based energy in the surroundings. Wang Xian watched this scene quietly, feeling the process of Tianxi's breakthrough. The group of experts from Dragon Palace also watched quietly. Before long, the ancient god tree behind Tianxi suddenly shook. The entire tree began to grow. 2 new branches appeared on the ancient god tree, one on the left and one on the right. One of the 2 branches circled around the city, while the other was covered with sharp thorns. Wang Xian's eyes flickered as he looked at the 2 newly grown branches. Subsequently, fruits began to grow in the center of the tree, where the trunk was. 8 fruits appeared, and 2 of them were maturing rapidly. "They're reaching maturity," Wang Xian murmured as he looked at the transformation of the Heaven Yuan creation treasure. He waved his palm, and the immortal slaying gourd on the progenitor tree flew towards the ancient god tree behind Tianxi. Subsequently, Wang Xian looked at some of the branches on the progenitor tree. Boundless wood branches, soul-returning wood branches, Wutong wood branches, Fuchang tree branches, Nirvana thunder tree branches, and a black flower of the other shore struck towards the ancient god tree behind Tianxi. Every branch exuded a strong and majestic aura and luster. Every single one of them seemed to be a rare and extraordinary existence. In the past, the Boundless Tree, Wutong Tree, Fushang Tree, and Nirvana Thunder Tree were all venerable level branches. However, because of the progenitor tree, they had already reached the sovereign realm. As for the soul-returning wood and the immortal slaying gourd, they were already at the peak of the sovereign realm. The immortal slaying gourd was obtained by Wang Xian in the past and was extremely powerful. After being nurtured by him, the immortal sword within the immortal slaying gourd could instantly kill a pinnacle universe ruler realm expert. However, this kind of treasure was already useless to him. He gave it to Tianxi because the ancient god tree in Tianxi's body was an attack-type heavenly essence fortune treasure. As long as he nurtured it and allowed it to take root in the divine tree, the power of this immortal slaying gourd would only be slightly weaker than the last 2 branches that grew from the divine tree. The other branches might not be as strong. As for the soul-returning wood, it was purely to add some special methods and foundations. Divine trees and divine branches flew over one after another. The ancient god tree directly reached out a branch and accepted it, landing it on its body. The Heaven Yuan creation treasure in Tianxi's body was familiar with the progenitor tree in Wang Xian's body. Its body also contained the aura of the progenitor tree. The progenitor tree leaned towards support and nurture. The ancient god tree in Tianxi's body attacked. Rumble, rumble. As the ancient god tree matured, the energy in Tianxi's body also increased tremendously. His body gradually turned towards the Heaven Yuan creation treasure. With a loud bang, the shackles were broken. Tianxi, who was standing under the ancient god tree, opened his eyes and revealed a smile. He looked towards Wang Xian's position. Walala! The ancient god tree behind him swayed its branches. One of the 8 fruits on the main branch, the only 2 that were ripe, flew towards Wang Xian. A fruit nurtured by the Heaven Yuan creation treasure. Around them, the souls of the dead stared at the fruit with fervent gazes. Their breathing was a little hurried. This was a priceless treasure. Such a fruit would definitely have terrifying effects. However, they did not dare to snatch it. Wang Xian stretched out his hand, grabbed the fruit and sensed it. Flaming fruit. After devouring it, the body will erupt with wood-based energy, forming a forest. The forest will cover a certain area. Within this area, only by destroying all the trees can the user of the flaming fruit be killed. Within this area, if you are injured, you can consume the trees in the forest to heal your injuries. Wang Xian mumbled to himself as he sensed the information of the flaming fruit. Just from the information, he could not tell how strong this flaming fruit was. However, as a Heaven Yuan creation divine tree, it could only bear 8 fruits in its lifetime. Its power would definitely be terrifying. The offensive ancient god tree was different from the progenitor tree. The progenitor tree could bear dozens of Heaven Yuan creation treasures. Godfather, Mom, I've broken through. Tianxi said to Wang Xian with a smile as he sensed the energy in his body. His body moved and he immediately flew over. Congratulations to nephew Mu Li Tianxi for breaking through to the Heaven Yuan creation realm. The undead golden leopard, Tu Shaqing, and the rest immediately congratulated loudly. Congratulations to Sir Mu Li Tianxi for breaking through to the Heaven Yuan creation realm. Greetings to Sir Mu Li Tianxi. Below, all the experts and disciples immediately knelt on the ground and loudly congratulated and worshipped. I, Mu Li Tianxi, a living being of the Six Paths universe, will definitely protect the people of our universe. Tianxi narrowed his eyes, looked across all the experts and disciples, and said solemnly, "This was the responsibility of a Heaven Yuan creation realm expert. This was also what a Heaven Yuan creation realm expert should do. We worship Sir Mu Li Tianxi as our faith and will fight alongside him to protect our home." All the experts and disciples below were burning with passion as they roared loudly with their hearts pounding. This was the recognition that all living beings had for their own universe. This was the unity of their beliefs for the future before the cataclysm arrived. Our Six Paths universe has one more top-notch Heaven Yuan creation realm expert. This is a great fortune for our Six Paths universe. Inform all the tribes and let them celebrate. Tu Shaqing laughed and announced loudly, "Sir." Immediately, a disciple below replied, "Let's go, we have to celebrate properly this time." Jin Bao grinned and said, Tianxi's breakthrough was also a good thing for them. When the cataclysm arrived, they would be under much less pressure. Under the circumstances that they could protect their own universe, they could also head to other universes to seek resources and opportunities. This was the law of the cataclysm. The strong preyed on the weak. The weak protected their own universe while the strong went out to plunder. It was cruel. Chapter 4185. Tianxi had broken through. To the Six Paths universe, this was a joyous occasion. To Wang Xian and the rest, this was a joyous occasion. Tianxi was a living being of the Six Paths universe, but he was also Wang Xian's adopted son. He was also the crown prince of Dragon Palace. Tianxi also treated Wang Xian as his biological father. What happened next was that the Six Paths universe celebrated Tianxi's breakthrough for over a decade. Since Wang Xian had nothing to do, he accompanied the girls to have fun in the Six Paths universe. Tianxi hadn't been to many places, not even in the Six Paths universe. He followed Wang Xian and the rest to have fun in the Six Paths universe. This made Wang Xian and the rest completely relaxed. Today's Dragon Palace was no longer weak. In fact, the Dragon Palace was one of the most powerful forces in the Nine Essences universe. Wang Xian now possessed the strength of a control-level expert, and so did Tianxi. In addition to the Tai Chi Dragon coiling 5 elements grindstone and the Qilin Ox, the Dragon Palace was equivalent to having 3 control-level existences. Apart from that, 1 or 2 newcomers would have to be added into the equation. Meanwhile, 3 control-level beings were enough to fight against a Dao-level being. In other words, even if the Demon Clan became enemies with the Dragon Palace, the current strength of the Dragon Palace was not afraid. Wang Xian wasn't afraid even if the fallen Shadow Devil Emperor attacked Wang Xian and the rest. Of course, as a veteran powerhouse, the fallen Shadow Demon Emperor should have more trump cards. However, if he really wanted to deal with the Dragon Palace, he would suffer great losses. After all, both Wang Xian and Tianxi had Tianyuan creation treasures. Wang Xian and the others had stayed in the Six Paths universe for over 100 million years. Over 100 million years, he had visited almost every corner of the Six Paths universe. It also allowed them to completely relax. 100 million years later, Wang Xian and the rest returned to the Dragon Palace. Tianxi didn't go back either. Instead, he stayed in the Six Paths universe to deal with some matters in the tribe. He began to improve the strength of the disciples in the tribe to prepare for the coming cataclysm. In 1.8 billion years, the cataclysm will begin. After returning to the Dragon Palace, Wang Xian estimated the time and mumbled to himself. 1.8 billion years was neither a long time nor a short time. He went into seclusion to help the Void Divine Dragon's body comprehend the power of space. Now, Wang Xian still had two areas where he could improve. One was the body of the void divine dragon. One was the maturation of the progenitor tree. The maturation of the progenitor tree was inevitable. All that was left was to wait. It was hard to say how long it would take for the void divine dragon body to break through. Time passed day by day. 200 million years passed in the blink of an eye. Ding! Congratulations, host ancestor tree has completely matured. On this day, Wang Xian was cultivating in seclusion. All of a sudden, he felt a majestic force of vitality gushing into his body. Immediately after, the system's voice rang out abruptly. This caused him to be slightly stunned, but his face was immediately filled with a smile. The progenitor tree had finally broken through. He moved and immediately teleported to the Dragon Palace. At the same time, with a thought, information regarding the progenitor tree appeared in his mind. Progenitor tree, fortune of heaven branch, soul returning wood branch, juggernaut tier. Possesses soul returning fetus fruit, parasol tree branch, ruler rank, phoenix nest, place of nirvana. Boundless tree branch, ruler level. Possesses the boundless fruit. Increases the speed of fire-type cultivators. Everlasting tree branch, ruler level. Possesses the everlasting fruit. Unlocks the intelligence of living beings. Nirvana thunder tree branch, ruler level. Possesses the nirvana thunder fetus fruit. Increases the speed of cultivation of thunder-type cultivators. Black flower of the other shore, ruler level. Unique flower. Possesses mysterious abilities. Fruit, mother fetus fruit, heavenly origin fortune level. Nurtures 29 mother fetus fruits. 4 of them have matured. Flaming fruit, one and only. Abilities, 1. Can resurrect all wood-type plants. As the progenitor tree's energy increases, it can increase the level of the branches. Attachment, ancient pond moon bay, ruler level. Can heal injuries rapidly. Can heal irreversible injuries. Looking at the information, Wang Xian moved and immediately came to the Dragon King Palace. Looking at the progenitor tree behind the dragon throne in the Dragon King Palace, Wang Xian revealed a smile. The lush progenitor tree was filled with endless vitality. It was completely different from the heavenly origin fortune divine tree. The progenitor tree seemed to be able to nurture everything. The various branches and fruits on it emitted majestic energy. Especially the 29 fruits on the trunk. 4 of them had matured completely. Mother fetus fruit. Wang Xian flew over. With a wave of his arm, a mother fetus fruit landed in his hand. At the same time, a message was transmitted to his mind. Mother fetus fruit could be consumed in advance. When facing the threat of death, it could unleash a terrifying burst of vitality. This vitality could continue to heal one's injuries. It could last until the energy was exhausted. As for how long it would last, it would depend on the specific situation. Wang Xian had to try it himself. However, the mother fetus fruit had a terrifying effect. It could resurrect without any injuries. Yes, it could resurrect after the energy of the mother fetus fruit was exhausted. After he was killed, he could resurrect unscathed in the Dragon Palace. After he was resurrected, he would still have his original strength without any losses. This wasn't something the soul return fruit could compare to. This kind of resurrection treasure was extremely rare in the various universes. It was extremely precious. The effect of the mother fetus fruit is really powerful. How terrifying! Wang Xian's eyes were beaming with excitement. Under such circumstances, he wasn't afraid of anyone. Even if he died, he could resurrect instantly. Most importantly, there were a total of 29 such fruits on the progenitor tree. It was much more fruits than the divine tree in Tianxi's body. Of course, the ancient god tree in Tianxi's body could increase his strength tremendously. This time, the progenitor tree had reached its mature stage. This also boosted Wang Xian's recovery ability and physical strength tremendously. Previously, Wang Xian was comparable to a control-level expert. With the support of the progenitor tree, he could fight against a control-level expert who had just entered the creation realm. Now, he could fight against a control-level expert and 2 creation realm experts who had just entered the creation realm. This was equivalent to Wang Xian being able to fight against a control-level expert and 2 creation realm experts who were the weakest. If I use the 5 elements grindstone and Tai Chi dragon coil, I will be able to fight against 2 control-level experts and 1 creation realm expert who is the weakest. Wang Xian grinned with excitement written all over his face. This strength was already very strong. His own strength and foundation could easily kill experts like the Phoenix Emperor and the Angel Emperor who had not reached the control level. Even the Siddhi Queen and the 12 Ancestors of Sorcery could easily suppress him. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.